The future of Fortnite is really weird, and with a Simpsons mini-season right around the corner, one of Fortnite's main modes getting constantly put on blast, and almost nothing known about Chapter 7, it feels like we're entering an entirely new and slightly confusing era for Fortnite. So today, I want to step back and figure out what's really going on. Is this just another phase that Fortnite will bounce back from, like it's shown us time and time again? Or is this the moment where things unfortunately start to break? My name's Mr.Raindrop. Sit back, grab a Shirley Temple, and let's get into it. I think the collective reaction that almost everyone, myself included, had when it was officially leaked that we were getting a Simpsons mini-season was... Unsurprisingly, the community hasn't exactly been thrilled about it, especially coming off the back of the Star Wars mini-season earlier this year, which was received horribly. And honestly, I can't even disagree with them. A Simpsons mini-season just feels so out of place in a chapter that's gone from superheroes to bugs, and now, somehow, The Simpsons? However, if there's one thing I've learned about Fortnite through the 8 years I've both played and covered this game, it's to never count it out. We've reached a point where Fortnite doesn't just reference pop culture, it is pop culture. And as crazy as it might sound, if Epic plays their cards right, they could actually pull this off. Now, will they? I wouldn't bet the house on it. But I do think it's important to give Fortnite a chance when it's experimenting with something as big and recognizable as The Simpsons. However, the same can't be said for Fortnite OG because unlike this new mini-season, they've had plenty of chances to get it right and have simply dropped the ball. I think the collective hype that Fortnite OG had when it first dropped for a brief moment really reached the levels of true prime Fortnite. For a good 2-3 days after that, every video you saw was Fortnite OG, every reel you saw was Fortnite OG. I mean, it felt like you were going to start seeing kids dressed up as Peely and Fishstick for Halloween again. It was great. And then Season 1 passed, and we thought it was just a boring season. Then Season 2. Then Season 3. Oh, but Season 4 is where it really starts getting going. Then Season 5, and now we were over halfway done with the original 10 seasons, and I feel like the whole OG fanbase is just thinking, what a waste. What really should have been an event where each season pulled in millions of players turned into a mode that struggles to get 50,000 concurrent players daily. And most of this rightfully falls at the feet of Epic themselves. Or even what some players have been theorizing, that Epic intentionally watered down Fortnite OG to make new chapters seem more exciting. It's just unfortunate that this is how it's gone down. Because when Fortnite OG launched, it reminded people why they fell in love with the game in the first place. It was the spark of what once made Fortnite special. But instead of building on that spark, Epic, for the most part, has let it burn out. Despite this, Fortnite still has one more chance to show us what it's really made of. And that resides in Chapter 7. A chapter in which we know nothing about. The most jarring part about Chapter 7 isn't what we've seen, it's what we haven't. Fortnite has always been loud about its next move. Every chapter before this had either a massive hint buried in the files or an accidental leak that got everyone talking for weeks in advance. But this time, nothing. Radio silence. And that's weird. We're still about a month away from Chapter 7 actually dropping, but it just feels strange. Almost suspiciously quiet. So much so that it feels like there's only two possibilities. 1. Fortnite's finally thrown in the towel. It's off to Cancun. Or 2. Fortnite knows it has to get this one right. Because when you look at everything leading up to this point, the pressure's never been higher. The Simpsons mini-season is a massive risk, especially with how horribly the last Star Wars one was received. Fortnite OG is getting flamed daily for being lazy and underdeveloped. Every time Epic patches one bug, 2 more seem to appear. The current season, people complained about the glitches so much that Epic practically vaulted the season midway, and to top it all off, Roblox is breathing right down their necks. So yeah, a lot is riding on Chapter 7 not being a dud, because if it is, this could be the moment where it all falls down. But if there's a silver lining, maybe the silence isn't a bad sign, maybe it's a good one. A sign that Fortnite is locked in on delivering us the experience that we all rightfully deserve and expect each time we log in. And if that's true, if this is really the reset Fortnite needs, then this silence might just be the calm before the weirdest, boldest storm Fortnite has ever tried. When you really step back and look at it all, the highs, the lows, the leaks, the chaos, it's kind of incredible that Fortnite's still standing. We've seen games explode in popularity and vanish just as fast. But Fortnite, it's adapted, it's evolved, sometimes in ways we loved, and sometimes, most times recently, in ways we hated. What made Fortnite special wasn't the gameplay or the collabs, it was that every login felt like you were stepping into a game with a whole community by your side. And that's what makes Chapter 7 so important, because right now, we don't need another Marvel crossover or nostalgia play. It needs a revival of identity. And maybe that means getting weird again, maybe that means taking risks that don't always make sense, but that's what made Fortnite, Fortnite. A place where Darth Vader can fight Goku and Ariana Grande watches from a distance. A place where cartoons, superheroes, and Fortnite's own personality all blend into one shared world that just somehow works. And if Epic can tap into that energy again, not just the nostalgia, the brand deals, but something entirely new, then maybe, just maybe, Fortnite isn't done yet. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.